you know about this gig life? Finding balance in the daily strive.
What is up, guys? Rational Geek Driver here. We're going to do a little ride along. We're going to do it in a new style. Haven't done a ride along video in quite some time, but we're going to try it. New style, new angles, new everything. Take you guys along with me today. Now, dawning of a new era. It's kind of like going back in time, right? Before I was the Rational Geek Driver. Before, back in the day when I was Dad Dash. Many of you remember. Somebody came in the other day talking about Dad Dash. Dad Dash still kind of exists, but I'm the Rational Geek Driver now. Anyways, so, but we're going back in time. No more high acceptance rate, no more platinum level. We're cherry picking. We're using all the apps. We're doing what we should have been doing probably the last 2 years. It's the only way. It's the way that works. And here's the thing. I feel emboldened to be able to come back and do this again because guess what? I have spent the last, I want to say, year and a couple of months being the top dasher, being the platinum dasher, being the guy with the high acceptance rate on DoorDash. And it was something that a lot of people would come in my comments and say, you can't speak on it. They'd tell me what it was like, and he'd tell me all the money you're going to earn. And I'll be honest, I extended the experiment way longer than I ever thought I would in June of 2023. I never thought that I would go as long as I did, but I did. But I'm back now, and I'm back with even more opportunities because I have Spark back, which I did not have in June of 2023 when this all started. But we're putting DoorDash where it belongs. It does not belong getting any type of extra attention. Because whether you're have a high acceptance rate or not, you're limited on what the earnings are if you are going to play the algorithm. The algorithm is not designed to reward you. It is designed to stabilize your earnings, keep your earnings predictable, and that's what's going to happen. That's what, and DoorDash, of course, has perfected that with the tier program and the earn by time and the earn by offer, and there's a lot I can talk about on how it all works. I haven't necessarily talked about it because I've got lots going on right now. I took a little time off because my wife and I had a child, had our fourth baby. So, anyways, just lots of time. But I just turned down an order. Let me see if I can get the phone out here. Can't really see it now, but I just turned it down. I'm at 8% acceptance rate. I'm probably going to hit 0. I mean, to be honest with you, and I don't mind. In fact, I'm kind of wanting to get to 0 because what I believe, and again, this comes from nearly 4 going on 5 years of dealing with these algorithms and dealing with this stuff, is that, oh wow, Cracker Barrel grocery store. Holy smokes. Now that's a really good one. Oh. Let's see if we can pull this off. Just got a 1209 3-mile run. I'm also got a shop, a $20-something shop for Spark. So I'm going to see if I can pull all this together because basically I have to go to the Cracker Barrel, which is sitting right up here, and then I'll have to go down there to this hotel. It looks like, I believe it's a hotel. It's either hotel or apartments down here, and it's 1209, which means that's an indicator there's probably $10 tip on that or more. A lot of times, whether they're hiding the tip or the customer's adding it, a lot of times they do that. But we're going in there, we're going to find out what's up. If the order isn't ready at Cracker Barrel, I'll probably have to get out of the order, which I have plenty of room for that on my ratings. But anyways, long intro to the video. So we're going to do a ride along today. I'm going to talk to you about things. I was going to do a live, but I just accepted and I thought, well,
on West King Street.
Here it is. You guys are just going to sit looking at the inside of my car. So I think I'm going to try to do a ride along. But anyways, my point is, we're back, we're doing it differently, and this is what's up. we are going to be out here doing gig work the way gig work is intended, and that is
Turn right on Foxcroft Avenue.
setting your goal and earning goal. If you're doing gig work like a job, this was something I was working on last year, and I said the proper way to come out, because everybody tries to say, well, what do you make an hour? What do you make this? I've had conversations with customers at drop-offs. Well, how much do you make? What do you make an hour? Is it appropriate to think hourly? Is it appropriate to think in terms of weekly? How should you be approaching gig work? And as I had said long ago, gig work equals goal work. So the appropriate way to do gig work is you have to have an earnings goal that you're working towards. And that is really how you have to set up your month. So if you need $5,000, you need to be putting all of your energy to figure out how can I earn $5,000 right now, in the gig economy. What do I need to do? Oh, wow, 210 for 5.3 miles. It's a sweet DoorDash order, but we're declining that. Now we're down to 7%.
Right.
And that's how you approach it. If you set it up and say, well, I want to go out today and earn $19 an hour, how long? Well, you could do that, right? But it might take you 10 hours to do it. Because if you stop at 5, you might be earning $10 an hour. If you stop at 5, you might look like you're earning $30 an hour. So it's like you've got to have a goal for the day. You've got to have a period of time. You've got to be that you're willing to work, and you've got to have a goal that you're going to go after. And you've got to be looking at it and saying, okay, when I get done with 5 hours of work, have I hit my goal? And if you haven't, then you've got to be willing to set up other times to work. So let's say you wanted to make 100 today, and in 5 hours you made 80. You can either say, okay, fine, I'll, walk away from that and be fine with 80. But if you have bills that you got to pay, you got to find another time to make your additional 20 bucks. And then, of course, you've got to be able to do it with the least amount of expenses as possible. So anyways, we're at the pickup here for Cracker Barrel. And I'll all right, guys. So we're back. We got our Cracker Barrel order for $12. We again, we're getting screamed at right now by Spark, but we're right around the corner from the Walmart. So I'm hoping we can make the Spark without getting tossed off the order. Because one of the things, if you're a Spark driver, if you do Spark app, they will get a little bit sensitive if you don't arrive. Even though, with the shops, I mean, they'll give you the order. I think they have like time perimeters, like you got to show up within like 30 minutes of accepting the order. And so after like 10 minutes, they'll start sending you a warning. They're sending you a warning at like 20 minutes. And then basically, if it hits the third time where they would give you a warning, I got my first warning, then you're going to pretty much get canceled off the order. Now, the other thing that I did is I also got an offer from DoorDash. Now, this just shows you I'm at 7% acceptance rate. I got a $21 offer.
Turn right
I don't
to
get to
stay
see
on
plus signs
Priority
or anything
Drive.
like that. But I got a $21 offer from DoorDash for 11 miles,
Turn
which
right
isn't
to
bad
stay
in my
on Priority
market,
Drive. Then drop off.
where it was asking me to go to. So I'm like, okay, I accepted that because that restaurant is right next to the Walmart. So I figure one of two things will happen for me. Either I will do the Walmart Spark order.
Drop off.
I've already hit arrive because I drove right by the restaurant for Walmart. So I've already arrived for the Walmart order or for the DoorDash order, and my timer's already starting. And if I need to, I'll just get out of the order on DoorDash and go do the Spark because it is a higher $25 less miles.
New message from Uber. Leave at door 206. The second 150.
Be right back. All right, guys. So I'm glad I did what I did there. I think, because I'm ending up in a better place than I would have if I would have just done the shop, because the shop was $25. But I knew when I took this. Now it doesn't help. I've got to watch myself here because my drop rate on Spark has dropped lowest than it's ever been, ever. Now I'm still in the orange. And here we go. We got Uber 809, 19 miles. No, sorry, Bob. We're not doing that. Uber Eats Pro. I'm now back down to Emerald. So that was $257 base pay. I don't know if you guys could see that or not. $257 base pay on the $12.07 order, which means I think the tip's going to be like $10.50 or something like that. I don't know. To do the math on it. But anyways, when I get to the Parkersburg Family Diner, I'll do that. But basically, by doing that, and I kind of insured myself because I knew it was going to be risky, and I didn't get it. I wasn't able to in the direction I was driving because Walmart's kind of changed up its area where you can mark your arrival. If I would have marked my arrival, it would have reset the timer. I didn't get to do that. I probably should have circled around because I had plenty of time on my Uber order to do so. And then I could have marked my arrival, and then I would have probably had another 10 to 15 minutes before they would have kicked me off. And then I would have been on a $37 order. Now I'm on a DoorDash order. I don't know if there's a plus sign on it. I know it's $21 for 11 miles. And it's like 4 items. It's like 4 family platters of chicken tenders. So I'm heading over there to get that now. Not a bad order. Really isn't. And it's funny because I haven't got an order like that in a very long time on DoorDash. Because most of the time, all I would get on DoorDash was low $6, $7, $5 orders. Mainly because guess what? I was taking all the orders, or I was taking pretty much all the orders, and I was wasting a bunch of time, trying to remedy bad orders with going and sitting. And it just didn't work. It didn't make sense, really, in the end. When I looked at the numbers I was bringing in, and I'm like, you know what? What am I doing right now? Because I'm not making as much money. In other words, the potential risk of bottoming out my AR, going to 0% or down close to 0%. Where's the risk in that? I mean, I'm driving $1 a mile. That's not anything, maybe sometimes under $1 a mile if I'm doing, or by time. I wasn't seeing the payouts. I wasn't seeing bad, but it was like, I still was waiting. I still had downtimes. I still had times, where it felt like they would sometimes make you wait longer and punish you longer than what I've been seeing right now, going back to turning down, offers until I see a good one. Where if I would go and sit and say, okay, I'm going to use my courtesy decline. I'll sit at this restaurant 10 minutes and then I come off of it. And then they send me something that's bad. And I'm still, again, trying to manage that AR. So I say, well, fine, I'll take this now. Well, I just spent like 15, 20 minutes waiting on the first one. Now I'm doing a 5 for 6, because I'm like, well, at least it helps with the AR. All right, here we go. 2185, 10.2 miles, 4 stops. We are turning that down. It just didn't make sense. So to me, what does make sense is what's always made sense. Because when I sat down and looked at it, crunched numbers, and I pulled 3 years worth of numbers, and I sat down and did what I call a gut check. I said to myself, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm not getting a better result. I'm getting basically the same result. Not even better, really. It's about the same. And while, okay, I can say, well, yeah, you can do that. But, in the end, I feel like, the one missing component that I can't speak on is when I was cherry picking like a wild man, I didn't have Spark, and when I did have Spark, I made some of the best money I'd made ever in the gig economy. So I said, well, wait a minute, what do I need to do? I got to go back to my roots, and I got to utilize Spark. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, we're going to go in here, pick up this $21 order from DoorDash, and I'll be back. All right, y'all. So I'm back. I do not have food in the car. Because literally at the last moment, at the what I would call the 11th hour, I was about to get out of the car. My phone starts going off like a wild person. I got Ubers. I got Spark sending me stuff, because Spark now will make a special sound when it's giving you a round robin, and it's sending me one of my offers just for me. $28 1 mile shop. Only 27 items. Now, I am not afraid of 27 items on Spark. That is easy peasy, lemon breezy. And I'm like, I will do that in a heartbeat. So I was going to have to go 11 miles for this DoorDash order. So I literally just improved everything about my situation. Now, except for my completion rate. Although you could look at this as saying I'm going to complete this order. So that's going to improve that as well. But, I went from an 8.5 mile. It was 17 items on the last one, $25, 8.5 miles. So I'll trade item count for miles any day of the week. Okay, any day of the week. So now we're doing 28 for 12. So that's going to put us at $40. We were looking at being at $33 right? On the DoorDash order. I'm going to get out of the DoorDash order. And now we're going from 33 to 40. We're just bidding it up. It's like a bidding war right now for my time. Create this for yourself, guys. This is what it's about. This is what gig life's about right here. What's happening right now, live. Well, it's not live, but sort of live. I'm documenting it, right, as it's happening. This is what it's about, man. This is what it's about. So, you know, you want them bidding for your time. Get out there during a busy time. It's Sunday right now. I'm working a Sunday. My goal is to make $100. And now I'm 40% of the way there. And I've only been, you know, I just got started today. So, you know, that's really good for me because I want to get to 100 as fast as I can. And dock that first day. It's first day of the month. And if I can in my allotted time exceed $100, fantastic. If I only hit 100 or get right there, that works too. But I need to hit 100. And right now it's all coming together and working well. So I'm at Walmart. I promise you I'm going to go do this shop. And in fact, my DoorDash shift, when I get out of this order, it's going to end. And then I'll have, I believe, another DoorDash shift starting at 5:30. So, and then, like I said, Spark is hopefully going to hire us as well again. So I'll see you guys at the end of the shop. We're talking the way. All right, good people. We got done the shop. I would like to say it was one of my easier shops. It was not hard to find the items. But I'll tell you what, wow. Logistically speaking wise, it was not one of my best ones I've ever had. It really sucked. In terms of just, it was crowded. There was a lot of people around. There were a lot of people getting in each other's ways. I actually had an accident. I collided with another cart. I was going left. She just comes out of nowhere and just sideswipes my cart. I mean, it was a nut house in there. And then on top of that, there's apparently a iceberg lettuce shortage. There was no iceberg lettuce at all. Not even bags, nothing. So that was a little bit ridiculous. But overall, we found what we needed to find. But we're still on target. We're less than an hour still. We're like 40 minutes into the order. $28. So when you have good money and you've only got a mile to go after the shop, when you have a logistically terrible shop like that, it all works out. Now, if I would have had 10 or 11 miles to drive, now you're going to start to really lose some of the luster of the order. But the good news is we're just going around the corner. So we're going to go drive. We're 5 minutes away. We're going to go drive and go get this delivered. Now, the other issue that we had that happened, that was kind of a logistical nightmare, was, of course, as I told you guys, I was on that DoorDash order I needed to get off of. I get in there and start looking for items and realize we're in an iceberg lettuce shortage. And oh my God, I realized, holy crap, like 20 minutes into the shop, I'm still live on the DoorDash order. But the DoorDash order had gone offline. So I don't know if that was something DoorDash will pick up on. Maybe it will. I don't know. But that's definitely not what you want to happen in that scenario.
Foxcroft Avenue, 3/4 of a mile.
So we got out of the order there. They let me out without penalty. Doesn't mean there won't be an issue. Oh, look at this. So we got our, as I had told you guys, I thought there could be extra on that Cracker Barrel order. There was $11.45 tip. It was showing a $9.45 tip. So we'll go ahead and send our thank you out. I'll send my thank you out to the last order I did. So Uber really has, there is no rhyme or reason. I don't know if the customer actually adds it or not. And they've kind of, I think they got smart to people picking up on the $8 rule, because it's now no longer $8. I mean, $8 sometimes is it, but there's a lot of times, sometimes people, it shows $8, it stays $8. And then there's times it goes up. And then there's times they're showing me an $11 tip and it goes up to $15. I had one go up to like over $20.
Turn left
so,
on West King Street.
You know, obviously there's going to be a brethren of people that say, no, they're not going up. Uber is hiding the tip. So I don't know. So now that puts us at like $42 for today. Whatever it is, it's good. It's all good. We're going to be back to searching for an order. And let me tell you, it's been popping off like crazy.
At the light, turn left onto West King Street.
Popping off like crazy on this order, or today. I mean, I've had Grubhubs, Ubers. Few of them were doable
In
orders.
A quarter mile, turn left on the Del Mar Orchard Road.
I thought, wow, you know, I wish I was available to do, but yeah. But right now we're gonna focus on obviously getting this order delivered and seeing if the heat stays on after this. Sometimes it gets busy, and then you finish the order you're on and you're ready to go. You're in a position to accept an order. Like I'm in a position right now where I can comfortably accept an order. I'm like 2 minutes from the
Take the
customer.
next left onto
It would
Delmar
not in
Orchard Road.
any way impede my ability to get that order done and out. But everything's quiet. Now DoorDash is going to be quiet until 5:30. I will go live again with them at 5:30.
In a quarter mile.
But like I said, we're 42% away from our goal. You know, DoorDash will kind of probably be coming, I hope, onto the back end of the goal because our goal today is $100, and then we'll see where it's at. I've got my son's at a birthday party, so I'm trying to do this while my son's at the birthday party he's at, and get my 100 out of the way.
Take the next left onto Hood Circle.
We got
then
started.
Turn right to stay on Hood Circle.
I guess it was maybe about 3:30 when we got started, so we're gonna have $42 in about an hour. Not bad. Will that now? As I know,
take the next right to stay on Hood Circle.
It may not
then
stay
your
that good.
destination will be on the right.
We'll see what comes up next, but I will definitely be examining any shops at that store much closer than I normally would. All right, here we are. We are at the drop-offs. I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, guys. We are back. We delivered that order. We're going to get on the road here. And, of course, Spark hit us up with an offer. We did not take it. It was $11 for 4 miles. Sorry. It was $11 for 2 miles, 4 stops. And yeah, you might say, well, 4 for 11. Well, it's just not enough, in my opinion, when you're at $11. Now, if it was like a shop, I might have done it. But when you have to wait to be loaded for 4 orders, there's too much possibility there that you could end up having to wait. Now, I understand they will pay you to wait, but the amount they're going to pay you to wait is only going to be a couple of bucks. I think the most I've ever gotten is like $4 off that. And that was a really long wait, but it's on a nice sized order. So it kind of just went and just enhanced what was already a well-paying order that had factored in all the time, the waits, and everything else. So we have a customer return for 14 miles. There they are. They're sending it right back to me. This time it's at $12. And we're going to reject that. So we're well past the drops. Anyways, so there it is. So that puts us at, I got to put the Uber up. Let's get the Uber now in 1402. So the tip ended up being what? 1140. So we're going to add the 1145 tip in. And we're at 1402, which means we're 42.88 on our way to that $100 goal. So now 4:45. We've been going since, let's get the exact time we've been actually going since 3:21. So I said 3:30, 3:21, a few minutes, potato, right? So not bad though. I mean, honestly, not bad. If we can find another order that's decent enough and get and earn, we're on track for hitting this $100 goal in 3 to 4 hours. So we just got to be able to find the right orders to put together. Now let's check out DoorDash and see if there's any heat on DoorDash. There is heat on DoorDash. So we're going now. I think DoorDash is going to let us on. Yes. So now we're on our shift from earlier. So now DoorDash is in the mix. So now we get to have some fun. You guys will get to see me accept orders. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this like I would a live. There's going to be a lot of footage. And I'll cut out what I don't like. And I'll keep what I keep. And it'll be a long one. So, none of this is being done for the algorithm of YouTube. It's being done for the algorithm of the driver, right? So, hey, it might not go out there and get 10,000 views yet, but that's not the point. It's the point to see it among the drivers, give an authentic view. And those of you that find my channel are the lucky ones, because you're going to get to see authenticity, which is more important than anything else. As far as the journey and what's going on out here. You're seeing my journey. I'm sharing it with you. Documenting for myself. Anyways, so we should be back, actually, I would think, in the city. Okay, we are. I was going to say, my GPS isn't updating on the DoorDash app. There it is. Now we're back in. Now it recognizes we're back. So let's see what they come up with. Anything good? Probably not. So sheets I don't mind up there, but I really, actually I do mind. I should say it's the sheets I don't like to go to because it's kind of a, I don't know. I don't like the layout of it. It's old. It's going to be. I'm sure it'll be one of the next ones that they're going to redo. They just redid the sheets that's up over here. Anyways, so on the topic of DoorDash, let's get down to the brass tacks of what we're talking about here. Where does DoorDash stand? Why? Up, and here we go. $9, 10.6 miles. So what have I seen since I've started my new? Now, this is one that previously I would have looked at and said, oh, I'll take it. You know, it's going in there. No. We're going to wait. Because if I take this, I'm gambling that there's going to be something good down there. I don't know if there is or not. So why don't I get my money here that goes down there, and then I'm covered, right? And that's what I used to do. And here we go, 3 for 3.8. Now, look, I'm getting orders. I mean, and, you know, maybe it won't always stay this way. Maybe there'll be declines. But my theory is now that there are so many drivers out there in these busy markets that are probably taking orders. We're literally getting to the point now where I would say these markets, these diamond markets, these earn by time markets are maturing to the point to where there will be good orders out there for us to grab now if you're cherry picking. But you've got to be willing to wait. And you've got to also understand, too, that you might turn down a majority of your orders that you see. So you're just targeting a few orders from DoorDash, not the whole shift from DoorDash. That's the mistake that people are going to make and going to find themselves in a tough spot. $39. So there we go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Where is it going? 3 orders. Holy shit. I have never seen anything like this on Uber before. It's 3 orders. I would take this if I was going in that direction, but I'm not. They want me to go to Charlestown and drop off 3 different orders for $39. They're telling me it would be 1 hour and 3 minutes. I can't do it because it's going on the wrong way. Like I said, as I mentioned, I'm needing to pick my son up for my birthday party. So I can't go all the way where they want me to go. But wow, what an interesting offer. That was a route. What hell of a route. And there may have been other restaurants involved too. All right, so we've got a little action from Spark. Not really very good. A lot of it from Hagerstown. A lot of it from the Walmart by my house. A lot of it for heavy miles. So we're just lying in wait here. I mean, you know, and same with Uber. I find that when you start to target these apps, right? When you start to go after the apps and you start to try to force them, or you start to focus on one, or you say, hey, I'm going to get my acceptance rate up. It doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't work. What you got to be able to do is just turn down. And you will, if all you're looking to make is $20 an hour, you can do that with no problem, as you can already see. I mean, $20 an hour is all but guaranteed for me, right? It's guaranteed for me in the first 2 hours. I started at 321 at 521 right now. If I don't get another order between now and 521, I've made over $20 an hour for the first 2 hours between Spark and Uber. So, I mean, you know, at this point, that part's gravy. It's just a matter of like, hey, I have a goal. I want to earn faster. I want to get here faster. So then I have to determine what's going to work for me. Could that $39 order have worked for me for Uber? Yeah, I mean, that would have got me to, that gets me to like $81. I only have 19 left. It takes an hour. But the problem is I'm going to end up somewhere. I was going to end up probably down somewhere in Virginia. It looked like it was taking me to the Virginia line. And, you know, the problem I have with that, as I mentioned, is I have to be back here in this area by about 6 o'clock. So that's a problem if I'm over an hour away when that order ends and it's about 6 o'clock. Now I don't have the ability to just have my son camp out at a birthday party that you're going to be calling me saying we need you to pick him up. So that order, unfortunately, isn't going to happen. But $39 for 3 orders, you know, when you're averaging it out, it's not really that exceptional because they're asking me to do 3 orders. They're just basically saying for the next hour, we will give you a fixed amount of earnings. And that's $39. Uber has started the new fixed pay. So I don't know if that's come to your area. I signed up for it. That might have been more of what that's about, where they're saying, hey, we'll give you $39 and you go on that big, long, extended route. It's quite a bit of miles. Oh, here we go. $13.50 for 7.1 miles. And there we go. So I will take that. Beyond the port. There we go. Yeah, I would absolutely take that. So there we go. We're on a DoorDash order now. I'll take that all day long. $13.50 for 7 miles. I don't know if it's going to be a plus sign or not. I don't really need to know. What I know is it's $13.50 for 7 miles, and the place where I'm going to have to deliver that is not bad at all. It's all miles I'm going to go from the restaurant because the restaurant's sitting right over here. So there it is. Now, let's break down the order, see if we can analyze it, see if we can get any tells on the order as far as what it's going to have. So it's 6 items. There's firecracker chicken, 5-piece pot sticker, pad su'u and pad su'u, chicken and beef, and 2 Thai iced teas for a total of 6 items. I believe I've delivered to this individual before based on the address and based on the name. I could be wrong. Is this a plus sign? I have no idea. Does the plus sign really matter? If you're worried about getting disappointed because it turns into a 25% pay or 25 cent extra, if you're wanting to get your mind fucked with by DoorDash to get you to wait on an order, yeah, worry about the plus signs. Otherwise, it's garbage. It ain't worth tearing up your car to go get a plus sign that says, hey, you might get 25 cents extra, or maybe you might get more than that. I'm just going to take this order, and if something better comes while I'm waiting, if I really like the offer, I'll turn off all my app. Well, let me see what's going on with Spark right now. And if this restaurant's on its P's and Q's, they'll have my shit ready, and I won't even be considering getting off the order. All right, 4423 71703 13. No, nothing that would get me off the order at this point. So 13. I said it was $13. I think it's $13.57 miles. 7.1 miles. So, anyways, that's a good order. And you know what? I waited a little bit for it. It's busy. I mean, you know, you're going to have to adjust yourself a little bit. But anyways, I'm going to run in here, go pick this up. You know, you gotta, you know, put it in context. But beware. Okay, I've looked at the numbers. And I did it for over a year to be confident in what I'm going to tell you. And trust me, if it was financially viable, I would absolutely be doing it right now. It's, you know, in terms of if it made a huge difference. I was making less than I was cherry picking. That was without Spark. And now I have Spark to add to my repertoire. And Spark adds a whole other dimension if you understand the app and you understand how to use the app and you understand how to cherry pick with the app. And you can make money really fast and you can make your goals really fast, but you better have a goal. And this idea that you're going to come out here and you're going to go, let me just start working today and let me not have a goal and let me not understand it. You're going to burn yourself out. Number one, the apps are going to drive you and you're not going to make your decision making needs to be driven around your goals. Meaning if you have 4 hours to work and you want to make $100, well, accept orders. There's orders that you might say, well, do I have time to wait for another order? If you don't, take an order that makes sense and it gets you there. And maybe it gets you almost there. But that's better than you ending up turning down, and then deciding you have to cancel an obligation because you say, well, I'm going to stay out longer. Or maybe you just make $30 because you're declining everything when you really didn't have the time to decline everything. It's all relative to the time you have and the goal you have. Anyways, with that said, guys, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, guys. Luckily, that order was ready when we got in there, so there was no issues. And then Spark immediately, I guess because I hadn't taken an order and was turning orders down, they will do that. I find their identity checks tend to coincide with like, hey, you're turning down a lot of orders. Let's just see if you're actually physically there. Like they're testing to see if I'm using like a picker or a robot or a bot app or something like that. So for those of you out there that are worried about that, and I do think there's some validity to those concerns. Spark, I think, is trying to do some things to counteract that by essentially, tying in the fact that if they're using a bot app, they're probably maybe the people that aren't really truly
Head west toward Foxcroft
who they say they are. So we got some family photos. I'll go around that. I don't want to be affecting the family photos. But, yeah, so that's what my thought is that that's something that Spark is doing. One of the ways they're trying to combat this, because you have to combat it in a way that they can't figure it out, right? And you do little stuff like that. But anyways, So my theory on DoorDash right now, like I said, how, what is going on? I think that, obviously there was a time when I was driving for DoorDash and I felt the slowdown. I mean, I really did. I felt the slowdown. I felt the slowdown in orders, and I felt like they were pausing. But I think that, again, part of that was manufactured, because it all coincided. DoorDash changed for me when the tier system came in, when they started prepping for it. And they had to give, again, it's a sell job, but it's not a sell job by a human. It's a computer selling you on a program. So they had to slow us down and slow down the order flow artificially, in my opinion, in order to create the idea in our brains, because they've learned about the drivers enough that we are very knee-jerk, right? We start slowing things down, really. I mean, and there's a good reason for that. We're depending on these apps for our livelihood, right? So when we're out trying to make money and the app's not sending us offers and things are really slow, we get concerned about that, and rightfully so. So I think that the app, in a sense, when they were, in order for them to try to sell drivers into these programs, they said, well, before we roll them out, we got to slow down the driver experience. So we're going to slow down these drivers, and they knew the drivers they needed to do it on. And that was the drivers that were cherry pickers. I mean, remember, they had a profile on us. They know our actions. They know our activities better than we know ourselves, because they have a large amount of data on every driver. And unless you're crazy about data like myself and you're collecting it yourself, it's hard for you to go back and look and see trends and see where you're at and see what's what and understand whether you're making more or you're making less. So they know the drivers are very much about how did you treat me last? What happened last? And that stays with them for about 30, the last order stays with you until 20 minutes after that last order, and you're not getting another order. And now you're second guessing everything you did, and you're questioning, what happened? Did I do this? Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. Did I mess up? And, that's very much how what the hell? What did I do? Did I go the wrong way? This is why I gave up on DoorDash mapping. And I just let them back in. I think I made a huge mistake doing it because, oh, wow, we got a Logan Steakhouse. Ooh. And this one looks like it's got all the hallmarks of a really good order. 1301, 5.6 miles. I feel like I should go. And is that Kelly Island Road? Yeah, I'm heading towards there. I'm going to see if we can do it on the fly. Stack. When do I have to have this dropped off by? 5:17? Is that really what I do? Or is it 5:35? Okay, so 5:35. So I've got some time on this. So we're going to come down here. Listen, we happen to be on the way. You guys saw this live time. We're going to try to see what we can do to turn this into an on-the-fly stack. Provided that the Logan's order is ready, we should possibly be able to make this really work well. So let's find out where the hell we're actually going here on this. Well, okay, perhaps what we're going to do is we're going to go a different route on this. Because I think now that I'm looking at this, I think it'll be smarter to try to, believe it or not, wow, so much for the 13 for 5. We knew it was never going to be that, ever. Let's just see here. How many items is it? Well, not quite the banger I thought it was going to be. Not ready. It's not ready. It's probably not. So here we go. So here's what's going to happen with this. We're not going to try to stack it now that I see the direction that it's having us go. We're going to go up here, and we should be able to it'll probably be quicker based on the logistics of the order. The Logan's is right up over there. Okay? It's right behind you guys, actually, where the camera's positioned. So the Logan's is up there. We're 9 minutes from drop off. We're gonna roll the dice here, and see if we can pull this off without Uber getting really upset. You really can't mark the ride on Uber, so Uber knows what we're doing right now. So it is what it is. So at some point here, if I want to, the way I see it is this. If I cancel it right now, I cancel it and I'm done with the order. And it's definitely going to affect my cancellation rate. If I don't cancel it, then I've got a $13 order that I know based on the numbers that they were saying I was only going to be going probably it's only about maybe 3 miles away from the restaurant. So as of right now, I'm 5 miles from that restaurant, and I can literally, so I'm looking at a 13 for 8. That still makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. And I'd rather be scheduled for that. And then we turn this into 1350 plus 13, we're at 2650, and we're not even to 521 yet. We're not even to the first 2 hours yet. And we're sitting at like $68. This is old school dad dashing, right? This is now, I kind of strayed away from this because, there's always the risks, but you got to figure out you got to know your apps. You got to know what the tolerances they have for waiting. Uber can get aggressive. Spark is ultra aggressive. We saw that already earlier today. But here's the thing. I've got some built-in stuff to counteract it. So you can't make this a complete habit all the time. Customer of Uber now, this is where you get into the danger zone, because the customer of Uber right now is watching me. So, there you have it. I'll leave it at that. That's where you're going to run into the problem, a thumbs up or thumbs down. Because, so you don't get hit with a completion rate issue. Maybe, the order ended up having to wait anyways. It's the optics of the situation is what you're going to be competing against. But anyways, let's get back to the topic here. We got interrupted with some offers and orders. This is why you got to keep your stuff on. And it's going to keep you, this is a stress that sometimes I have myself have said, I want to live a stress-free life. So I thought, many people have said, well, the stress-free life is DoorDash. Do DoorDash, get platinum, and accept every order. And, they're going to send you, they're going to give you priority for all these really good orders. And life's going to be great. You're just going to go out, turn your app on, and pop off $30-40 an hour. Some friends out there were showing that off all the time. They just turn their app on, and there it was. Well, I can tell you right now, I don't think I'm the outlier. I don't think my market is that different. And I can tell you I got a lot of data to prove my point. Because I went over a year as a top dasher. I went over a year. My acceptance rate has not been this low since May of 2023. When I started the challenge, I took it all the way to zero purposely, because I wanted to get it up as high as I could for my cruise in June of 2023. And I went hard, and I rose it, and I got it up to, I think it was 83%, and then it started falling, and it ultimately ended at 70, and then I got into all that issue where DoorDash said it wasn't 70, and And then after that, I maintained my acceptance rate for literally 13 straight months. I went, and I figured it out. And it's possible. It can be done. It can be done. And you can still make okay money. And no, the wheels didn't fall off my car, although, I could see how that could happen some. And you got to have the ability to put the miles on. And the money wasn't exactly horrifying. But I can tell you that it was not worth, in my opinion, it was not worth it. It was not worth the mental struggle that you go through when you're sitting there and you're accepting these orders, hoping that the computer will reward you, knowing that the end result is not going to be that. Because that's what you got to understand. The end result of playing the game in that way is not that the computer rewards you. It's not that you're suddenly going to start getting all these really good orders. That's not how this works. That's not the goal of these apps. Because once they train all these drivers to accept every single order, we are at their mercy. And then we become pretty much robots. And that's the point that I think a lot of drivers don't realize, is the game is never to replace the driver. I mean, I want you all to think about this. And again, I know the case can be made that sometimes DoorDash gig workers aren't good at that. Some of us are, some of us aren't. But I want you to consider the fact that if the gig apps took ownership of a fleet of vehicles, they are responsible for maintaining those vehicles. They are responsible for paying governmental licensing fees to keep them on the road. They are subject to all sorts of government rules and regulations. They are subject to all these expenses and things that these apps will never, ever want to be responsible for. So they will always need a human driver. What they need, though, is a human driver that performs like they're a robot. That's what they're after. And they need to be able to influence the driver's decision making and say, we can't have human drivers out here being human. We can't have them thinking. We can't have them apply the greatest advantage they have against us, which is thought, which is the decline button. So we've got to do everything we can to corrupt their minds so that they will do what we want them to do. And, you know, the whole utopia of let's replace everything with robots and stuff like that, while it may happen at some point, I don't think it will. It doesn't make any sense of logic when you put it out there, because robots don't buy things. Humans buy things. Will they attempt to make sure that maybe there's less humans, and are they, you know, there's a whole mode of what's actually happening, and then there's what people think is happening. Yes, there's some things that are happening, but humans will always be needed. It's just a matter of how many humans and how quickly can it be controlled as to how many humans are existing and available and needing to be here to make things work. And that's the real game that's at stake here. But rest assured, if you're willing to play the game, if you're willing to drive, if you're willing to be smart about it, you're going to be needed. And there will be those that play the game better than others. Now, that does not mean that there will not be a war to get rid of in the name of these apps, the troublemakers, right? Because they don't want people thinking. They don't want people using their biggest and greatest tool against these apps. That's the humans, right? That's your human instinct, your thought, your ability to think and hit decline. That is the biggest threat to these apps. Anyways, all right. We're at drop off. I'll see you in a minute. All right. Well, we got that delivery done. I don't know. The cell phone service wasn't very good up through here. You guys won't know that, though, like we would on a live stream, because guess what? I'm videotaping this whole thing. Anyways, cell phone service wasn't too good, so it locked my phone up when I got there. I didn't get to see the actual payout, so I'm estimating it. I know I got $13.50 because it showed me no extra money, so I'm assuming $3.50, $10 is what I would assume, or $2 and $11.50. Not sure which one it is. Either one is a good tip. We'll take it. So now we're back off to now heading back down on the Uber ride, 12 minutes away from that restaurant, 6.2 miles. We're going to Logan's Roadhouse. Now that one has all the hallmarks of a potentially larger payout. And believe it or not, you will see larger payouts even when it comes to just a ribeye and 12 rolls. Because that's how the Uber platform works, because that's like a $40 or $50 deal, and if the customer decided to give, $15 for the tip, which some customers will do, which is a shame because I stacked it, but it is what it is. Now, I don't know that I'll ever see that customer again, because it's like today, it's like first day, right? First day back. I don't know why, but you get away from doing DoorDash a lot and you forget to look in the notes. I didn't look in the notes. I literally said, look in the notes, and I'm ringing the doorbell, and I see it says, do not ring doorbell. So if I get a bad rating, well, guess what? I don't have ratings forgiveness anymore. I don't have the ability to say, oh, it was a package deal, and I can call in, please remove it. I got to wait for it to get removed. So, all the warts, all the things, everything's going to hang out, right? There's a lot of little things that I enjoyed as part of a Platinum Dasher that maybe I'll start to feel, I'll have to decide, is it worth it? Because again, there are little perks that I had as Platinum Dasher for the last year that I may miss. One of them being schedule anytime. Two, the next one was I had the ability to call in at any given time if I got a bad rating and immediately ask for that to be reviewed. And especially since that one was a package delivery, I could say, please review it. And if it was a package delivery and the customer didn't put any reason down, they would go ahead and remove it. There it was. In addition, what else? What other perks did we have? Obviously scheduling. I could schedule, make sure I was on the schedule. Shoot, what else? I mean, there's a few other little things that it strikes me that were there that I'll probably miss, that I'm not going to have access to. But the question is, those perks kind of made it okay and nicer, but that's if I'm just saying all I'm going to ever do is use DoorDash when I'm out doing my gig work, and that's not the case. So, my goal is to go out and make as much money as I can, be able to stay active on all the apps, don't do anything that would knock me off the apps, but put me in a position to come out, turn on all my apps, and earn money as fast as I possibly can. That is my goal. And I'm doing that tonight. It's 5:22. I've been out since 3:21, and I've already got booked for myself, provided this offer sticks with me. I've already got what did I say, $68 booked in 2 hours? So there it is. You guys have seen this live. I'm videotaping it. Obviously, I've admitted I'm going to edit, but I'm not editing out the experience, right? And I'll go back live again. Like I said, it's hard for me to go live. I feel like it's really not quality and I'm not going to bring in my phone and try to film a live inside Walmart, because Walmart does not want you filming inside their establishments. They don't want you filming at their drop-off locations. It's very clear. They've made it very clear, and you will get deactivated by Spark for doing that. So, we don't have a right. It's private property. You don't have a right to just come in and start filming everything. Just like at Taco Bell, you don't. Just like, I have a right to film in my car. I have a right to show you where I'm driving. I do have an obligation to ensure customer privacy is maintained. So this angle is perfect in my opinion, because it doesn't show really you can see out my window, but I really feel like it's not detrimental to customer privacy. But anyways, I digress. So now this, of course, creates a little more work for me, because I have to come and string this together. But the reality is, if you're coming to me for fancy transitions and those days are done. I'm here to bring you the raw footage of life of a DoorDash driver. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk you through things. I'm going to give you my perspective. I'm going to tell you things that you didn't know. You may not believe it. You may have a problem believing it. Some of you do, but I'm going to give you information that you did not know. And like I said, I'm going to give you the inside scoops and what's going on and what I figured out. Driving, what I figured out, researching, what I figured out from sources within the gig industry to tell you what's going on. And I'm going to tell you how to make money in the gig economy. I'm not going to tell you how to make exceptional money, because this is not the place for that. Because remember, the gig economy was developed for one reason. Well, number one, it's developed to extract money out of the economy from various everyday things and create a fee structure that these gig apps could become almost like parasites and begin extracting money out. But there is a purpose. It's a service, right? It was an idea to say, why can't we, with today's technology, why can't we have food delivery? Why are people actually having to drive and leave their house to go pick up their food? Why do they need to do that? We have the technology today to make it happen in a profitable way. Now, was this developed? Are gig apps developed because they said, we want to go replace full-time employment? No, it's a rider next to, and again, as I have said, you call it the whatever you want to call it, the working poor things, tools and mechanisms to take advantage of the working poor. That's what the gig economy is for. It's meant, the true purpose of the gig economy was never for someone to come in and say, I'm going to make a long-term strategy out of making income out of it. Although some of us are trying to do that. What it was designed for was, hey, I have a problem. My water heater breaks. I have a vacation I want to go on. I have something I need to do that my current regular job will not pay for. In the old days, you went to Domino's, you got a background check, and you became an employee, and you got a schedule, and you had to go do all these things, right? Well, these gig apps free you from that process. They make it so you don't have to do that. So that if you decide I have a problem and you go, you know what, I've signed up for DoorDash. I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to turn my DoorDash app on, and I'm going to go try to make the $200 that I need. I'm going to go work for 4 hours tonight and see how close I come. That's why I said gig work is goal work. The individual that's using it like that should have a goal, and they have a goal, and they normally will use the apps until they reach that goal. They're not using the apps forever or indefinitely or as a daily driver or earning of income. That's pretty dangerous. It's a pretty big gamble, and it hasn't really worked out that great for a lot of people that have tried it. They've either, or don't approach it in the correct way. Is it possible to do it? I've proved for 3.5 years it has. Others have too. It's definitely possible. Now, is it the best way to earn? Is it going to be the most effective way for you to earn the money you need? Well, it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to earn $15,000 a month, I don't think you're really going to be finding a place in the gig economy. And there will be people who come out and say, well, there was this guy that did it, and there's this guy that did it. Yes, they did it, but it's not sustainable over a long period of time. They did it for a period of time. They went out, they worked some ridiculous hours. They were probably in a city where the cost of living was pretty high, and they go, you know what, here it is. Okay, Asian Garden, $10.50 for 5 miles. Wow. Okay. Hello, DoorDash. I haven't got offers like this. Let's see if that is anything with catering back. Let's see. What is that? Orange chicken, salmon roe, miso soup, pork belly buns, and Philadelphia. Okay. So they want me to arrive at 5:33. All right. Well, we went ahead and accepted that DoorDash order, $10.50 for 5 miles. See, when do I have to have it delivered? 5:55. So one way or another, we're going to go down there and we're going to attempt to pull this off and stack it with the DoorDash order. So there we go. We were trying to stack it earlier. We went about it a different way. Now we're going to see now, but you see the box in the hole I'm putting myself in right now is I've got to be there at 5:33, meaning I got till 5:43 to get there and mark arrived. And you can't get a courtesy cancel. So I'm going to have to either check against a contract violation. I'm going to have to use a completion rate point, which is fine. I'm at 97% completion rate. I don't want to go below 95 because, again, the place where you get deactivated is 90, and I have a point where I want to stay above. All right, Bethel. But what I do know is these two orders are similar routes. So anyways, I'll be back. We'll talk again. All right, guys. So I'm back. I have the Uber order. It was ready to go. And if all the lights and traffic cooperates here, we can make this happen, I think. And again, as I was going to say, is the DoorDash order will get dropped off second based on what I believe the itinerary should be, because it's going to be just the positioning. And we will end up, again, rolling off and getting a very good. Now, we're at the front of the line here. I did catch the light, but I'm the first one to go. So DoorDash order has to be picked up by 5:33. So it's now 5:34. So we should have no problem with getting a contract violation. Now, what I plan to do here is I'm going to come through here. Since I'm already going to be here, I'm going to run in, see if it's ready. I know my Uber customers watching me. They're probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? Right now, they're not suspicious at all. When I make this left turn, they're going to start wondering, what in the hell is this guy doing? What is this asshole doing with my food? Cool part about this is I don't have to run 2 apps or anything like that. I'm literally going to be able to take this and put the Uber app next door to the DoorDash app. And I'm going to be able to have both of them competing, so to speak, with each other. So it's like I'm going to be able to see which one is the best one in real time because I can use in-app guidance on DoorDash. And I'm going to see if I can click arrive. I think I can. Yeah, don't let me click arrive. It just will not let me get orders still there. There we go. We're going to go ahead and do that just in preparation. Okay. Now, up by my house, there is a shop that's actually not bad. $18 for 6 miles. I didn't check the item count, but if the item count would have been reasonable, it would have not been bad. But still not close enough to trigger the courtesy. And I have until 5:55 technically to deliver this before I would be contractually late based on the drop-off. And that is an important distinction you want to make, everybody. A little tip, if you're going to ever try to do some dirty, either dirty multi-apping, where you're going two different directions. This is kind of like semi-dirty, or you're just doing multi-apping, stacking of any kind. On DoorDash, it is that original time that you're held to. It's not the time that will pop up after you make the delivery. So it's very, very important that you recognize that. Because DoorDash will try to trick you and make you think that you don't have as much time. So that way you're not thinking that it's prudent to be running around driving at 100 miles an hour. All right. Anyways, I'm going to run in here, see if this is going to work for us. And I'll be back. All right, guys. So we're going to pull out here. All right, guys. So we got it all picked up. It all worked out well, actually. This worked out considerably well because the order was ready. So when I walked in there, it was already ready, which is not something that I'll tell you I had been seeing a lot recently when I was doing these apps. Now, as I said, as I suspected, the Uber app is the one that qualifies to be dropped off first. It's 7 minutes away, while the DoorDash is 12 minutes away, and all going in the same path. So right now, both customers will believe I'm on the path. I'm on the path of righteousness and correctness. And then they're going to see, the DoorDash order is going to see me veer off the path, and then they're going to probably get upset because DoorDash will tell them your driver's on the way. And a lot of these DoorDash customers love to have their nose right in that app. I know that. And it's going to be what it is. This is the danger of putting DoorDash second. Many of you say, oh, I don't mind, I'll do it. Yep. And that's why you're customer rating. Now, you're going to have to say, I don't care about my customer rating. And I do and I don't. But literally, the funny part is we're going to get to a point. It's actually a road right here, right? These customers are not going to know that I'm doing double duty, although the Uber customer may be well aware of it right now because they saw me go off to the restaurant. But as it appears right now, I'm heading to them. And of course, the Uber driver is going to find out, yeah, I'm going right to them. But the DoorDash customer, the road I'm on, I'm going to be turning left or right. I'm going right for the Uber customer and left for the DoorDash customer. So it couldn't have been more perfect. All right, so now we have a ASAP pickup. I really wish I could do this. I wonder if I could. 16 miles, though. I got to check the locations. Bunker Hill, Clearbrook. It's going right to where my son's at. I feel like I've got to almost go do this order because it's perfect. It's just, will I be able to get these orders delivered if it was anything but a goddamn ASAP order? And we know how aggressive they will be. So I got to just kind of leave this one to fate. But it's 16 miles. I've got to turn it down right now because I don't want to lose another point on my, where am I at right now? My metrics. I think I'm at 92. Yeah, 92% completion rate. Cannot afford to lose more points. So I'm not going to do that. But man, that's like almost perfect. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was at 68. That put me at 78. That would have put me over 100. Perhaps I should have just rolled the dice and just said, you know what? That puts me in my goal well under the time I wanted to be. And there I am, and I'm done. And if my son texts me and says, hey, I'm ready to go, I say, you know what? I'll be there. But it's also, too, 5:42. I'm texting him right now to reconfirm 6 o'clock. Of course, I haven't heard from him. Kids will be kids. But I'll be able to get done with both of these orders and head en route to him and be there slightly around 6. Right on schedule. So we'll see. Unless I hear from him and he tells me, no, Dad, don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about being here at that particular time. Now, here's the thing. I know the DoorDash order. Remember, one of the reasons why I'm gun shy on that $20-some order is because I know I've got to go to the Uber order first, which is 4 minutes away. And then I'm going to be, it's not that I'm going to be 8 minutes away. I'm going to probably be maybe 12. I don't know. I'll find out when I get there because it'll all reset itself. But I figure I'm going to be about 8 minutes to 9 minutes away. And then I'm going to be another 12 minutes back to that Walmart where they were wanting me to go. So as you can see, there's no way I survived the clock on Spark. There's just no way. So I'm not going to try. I'm going to just have to let that go. As good as it looks, as financially solving of my issues, that it would have been, man, you know, it's like that's really frustrating to me because I'm like, if these dumb apps would see that the driver, you know, like I'm not going to hurt your customer, I'm not going to not be there. So it's like I wish there was a spot where you could say I accept the order, but I'll be there at 6 o'clock and send it back to the, you know, I'll be there. I'm on another offer right now. I mean, you know, I think the apps are missing the boat in a sense. Not that they really care about this, but they're really missing the boat when they say, you know, recognizing that drivers are going to work other apps, even the casual driver would, and allowing the technology to integrate that into the scheme, because in some ways it will get more orders delivered. It will down. Oh, here we go. Okay, so 545. So we have a 545 offer here. This is 2401. 3 pickups, 1703, 14 miles. Oh wow. Inwood. Dip Bridge, Jarrettstown, West Virginia. So unfortunately, this one just absolutely is not doable because it's not going anywhere in the direction I need to be at. Tragically, not as good. That other one literally took me to the area where my son was going to be. And if I could have coordinated that and said, and perhaps it's available, I haven't looked because I got to focus on trying to get these orders delivered and not have problems on the DoorDash app and not have problems. Because right now, as you can see, coming up dangerously close. I'm 1 minute away, but 5:55 is when I have to have the DoorDash order delivered. And right now, it's 5:45. So I have really technically the 6:05, but you really don't want to be pushing it that far because if something happens, if there's an issue, if, as I've had happen before on orders, you're not at the right residence, it does. At this point, there's no covering this part up. You're just going to be exposed and you're going to be late. And since I didn't have any weights, since I didn't have any time, I'm going to be completely exposed in every way, shape, and form on this order. But I've got to go get this Uber order delivered. It's immediate door. So I'm going to go get it delivered. And then, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just turn Uber on as the main app. And start getting prepared for this order. And I'm going to turn you guys off as well. So I'll see you in a minute. First. You man, why? $13.01, $10 tip. All right, there we go. All right, guys. So we got that Uber order delivered. Customer was nice enough to inform me she left a tip in the app, and it looked like it came through. So like 13.01. I thought it was 13. I knew it was 13 something. So it's 13.01. It was one of these package. I noticed Uber does like package orders. Sometimes they will list certain restaurants as package orders and will give you the payout right away. And in some instances, they're like the old-fashioned ones where you got to wait an hour for the tip. This one was one that paid out right away. So I got my 13.01. It was $3.01 base pay and a $10 tip. So hey, we're happy about that. Now we're working on this 10.50. So we're gonna make 23 bucks, and then we've got, like I said, I've got to do the math on all this because I've been moving so fast. I haven't had a chance to really fill in everything. We will after this order. Other point of good news: that order that I said was really good. Well, it's not really an order that I guess a lot of people are liking. So, it was still there on the Uber, on the Spark order. So what I hope is going to happen is what can sometimes happen. There's a benefit. Don't accept the order, right? Don't accept the order. Don't create the problem for yourself of trying to get there and create the extra time, the extra miles, the extra everything. Because by the time, if it sits in there for a while, Spark will begin adding money to it to try to attract me to it. And knowing that I clicked into it and looked at it, and they know I'm considering it, and that's the ones that they'll start adding an extra $1, or add extra $2, or add an extra $5. Eventually up to as much as $15 extra base pay in order to get you to do the offer if somebody doesn't take it. So we'll see if that happens. So perhaps I will still get an opportunity at that offer, and maybe there'll be something better that will come through from DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats. But anyways, listen, we're living life on the edge. We're moving around. We're living fast. We're 6 minutes away, 5:59. We're going to be 4 minutes after the DoorDash app said we need to be there. So we're still within 5 minutes. We won't even get docked for being late because we're still within the 5-minute grace period that affords. But we will definitely not be like I normally would, where I would have been running early on this if I would have gone right from the restaurant to the customer. Doesn't mean the customer won't have a feeling about that. That doesn't mean that the customer won't show up in my ratings and go boink. And that's why I come back to the point that I really like Grubhub. Because Grubhub doesn't mess around with driver ratings. They do have it on time that's pretty aggressive. So they have their own way of dealing with you. If you're going to be late all the time, you're going to get it. I'm at 91% now. And it rolls on a 2-week period. It's a 2-week forecast. And if in the last 2 weeks you were late, now again, some might look at that as aggressive, some might look at that as not. But you know, basically, if your on time rating drops really low, you can find yourself deactivated and very fast on Grubhub. So you've got to pay attention to it. So you've got to be willing to take orders that you're willing to complete and that you're willing to get there on time. And we have this other offer here, which I'm definitely not going to do. It looks like somebody might have taken that other one, although sometimes what they'll do, I've noticed they're pulled off the screen. They're sitting around for a little bit, and then they go, okay, maybe they're tossing it to another driver, or they're trying to make it as like a personalized offer for another driver to see if they can entice them to take it. And if they don't take it, it'll come back repackaged with more money to it. That's what I've seen, at least. And I think sometimes too, I wouldn't be shocked if they're not repackaging it all together for some drivers. Maybe taking it apart, turning it into a two offer or a one offer. Do I believe we see every single offer, that every driver sees every single offer that every driver sees? No, I do not. I just don't think that's how it's working on Grubhub. I might be wrong, but I just don't. Or not Grubhub, on Smart. Here it is. There it is. It's back. There it was. I told you. It was coming. It's there. There it is. Yep. Right up the line. Perfectly lined up. So, if that's still available, after I get done with this offer, because I'm still 4 minutes away, and I can take that offer and start heading back towards pickup, I will take it. It's 59 total items. It's $26. It's going exactly where I want to end up, and where more likely than not I will need to. And I have not heard from my son to confirm things, so I'll just tell him, hey, I'm here. I'm going to show up. It's time to go. But this is perfect because I will have hit $100. And now it's at $27. Yes. It's what we want. I told you it's going to start going up. That's exactly the sweet spot we want. Now, of course, we're in danger zone now because somebody may take that offer. If it gets too high, they end up adding more money to it. And now they're getting excited. They're sending it over to me. Hey, we're adding money to it. We're adding money to it. Check it out, Rational Gig Driver. Check it out. Check us out. What are you taking now? What are you taking now? Looks like we have a little shopping offer that's come through, but really that's not what I want. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. That means it expired. That means they're repackaging it. That means they're giving me the illusion potentially it's gone, and perhaps it'll never show back up again. Or it will. And now it's going to start to accelerate where they're going to add more money to it. Because they're, obviously, as it gets closer to when they want these orders dropped off and delivered. Now, I really do need to sit down and analyze and make sure that we're not going anywhere crazy in that area. But I think we're going to be okay. And I think I feel pretty good about taking it. And I think it'll be a great way to end the day. And I think I'll be able to get it done probably by 7. And then we will have gone from 321 to 7 and we'll have made over $100. Now, let's see what happens here with this DoorDash customer. Do I get an angry customer? Do they go crazy on me over 4 minutes? Do they get mad because they saw me all over the map? How does the Rational Gig Driver handle that when I get confronted? Do I confess all and tell them, yes, I'm sorry, I'm a poor gig driver. I had to take multiple orders in order to be able to afford to drive and deliver your one order. Tip more, you son of a bitch. Or do I turn around and I say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, it was a GPS issue. My bad. I think it just has me all over the place. Or do I just say, hey, I don't know what the hell you're talking about? Or do I do the alternate sell? The app, DoorDash gave me 2 offers. It didn't tell you? Oh, damn DoorDash. What do? I don't know. Or do I just do nothing at all? Or do I do the stare down? They say something to me and I just turn and say, have a great day. Move on. Either way, I'm probably getting a bad rating. Although if I can convince them of one of those options that it was not my fault, perhaps I avoid a bad rating altogether, but I don't think I do because they're going to want to rate it in the app. They're going to want to let the app know they had a bad experience, and that's going to be on my back. So maybe they're not worried at all. Maybe they're not anal people that are worried about 1 to 2 minutes in the app because it said 5:55 and I'm arriving, and they go, there's traffic out there, and there's this, and there's that, and there's all this. I've delivered to a lot of these houses out here. It's funny. It's like whenever you come into a neighborhood that you've done a lot of deliveries for, it's like you can sit there and look. And here's the thing. A lot of these were done. Of course, I also track where I deliver. But a lot of these were done under the Earn by Talent model. The good old days. But, all right, let's see. $70. There it is, right up there. All right. Back there, I'm going to circle around. That way the eagle is pointed towards the road. Technically speaking, this thing actually did the weird thing where it let me mark arrived already, so the app itself is probably thinking I've already arrived. Weird. Anyways, all right, let's get this delivered. All right, guys, we delivered that order. $3 base pay, $7.50 tip. Of course, it was supposed to be 5.5 miles. We went a little bit more than that probably. So I guess I need to record the miles. It's 133,545. That's right. That is the only thing I can't recreate at all. 33. And we ended up driving 15 miles. Oops. 33. And we made a total of $23.51. All right, here we go. Let's see what they got for us. 1306, 2 orders, Wingstop. Absolutely not. That would be our friends over at Uber giving us some lovely garbage. Yep, 301. So we made $23.51 on that order, going 15 miles. Was it worth it? You tell me. I think it was. I mean, and again, I got to tell, I'm not sure exactly where we sit financially right now. I think we've documented. Let's see. Well, I can kind of eyeball this. I've got to. Let's see. I don't know if I filled in everything. Did I fill in? Yeah, I did fill that one. So we are sitting at $79 and some change. So almost $80. And we've been going at it for a little less than 3 hours. So $80. We started in the middle of the day, guys. I mean, we started in the middle of the day. This is it right here. This is the good feeling that I need to get back to, man. This is the shit. Now, listen. What I found though in my market, I mean, and maybe it's I'm missing out on turning down orders, but there's still troubles at different times in your market because it's not meant to be a full-time gig, in necessarily. So there's going to be periods of time where it's going to be a lot not so great, and there's going to be times when it's going to be okay. All right, so we're at 2601. The question is, what direction do I want to go, and how do I want to attack this and get back? That's the one that I don't like, the route. So right now, not a lot of great options. And then we got DoorDash right now, who, let's see where we're at with them on my ratings. This is when I would normally be looking at my ratings and stressing out. I'm at 9%, guys. 9% acceptance rate, 97% completion rate. 97% completion rate, 4.97 customer rating. We'll be watching and monitoring that throughout the day, especially since I've already got the doorbell ring from hell that I wish I never did. Probably could have turned a lot sooner than that, but anyways. Surge offers. If they bring me back that one, we're probably going to do it. $27 on this one. That's starting to look a little bit juicy right there, man. Wow. And then we got 38 orders in the last 30 days. Wow. Think about that. I was at 350 orders at one point. We've slowed down. We are now on the countdown to 5,000 deliveries with DoorDash. 5,000 deliveries. I will be doing a special video just talking about that, talking about what I've learned, talking about the differences in the app. I'll probably do, I'm thinking of what I'm going to do, because when I hit that might call for an actual, live stream, I think. We're going to definitely do live. I'm going to, as I get close to that, when I do that 5,000, I want to be live when I deliver my 5,000 delivered. And we're going to go live and talk about it, and we're going to talk about everything and just have a celebration of sorts. 5,000 deliveries is a lot of deliveries. And here's the thing, I did that and made a lot of money each delivery. I feel like I've done it right. I feel like, my average per order is probably a lot higher than a lot of other people's because I demand it from the apps and I've multi-apped and I'm not going to take shit. So that guy that holds up 15,000 deliveries in the last 3 years, that tells you something about what they're doing. It does. It tells you they're not demanding enough from the app. They're taking every app. And they're probably also going to be telling you about the new car they bought too. Now, I might be telling you about the new car I bought. I don't know, because you know what? I mean, I'm not saying I haven't driven a lot of miles, because I have. And it can happen to any of us. And it's a real thing. It's a real risk. But the question is, when that time comes, are you ready and are you prepared? And you've got to be ready and you've got to be prepared. And if you're a subscriber and a watcher of this channel, you need to make sure you're taking the steps. And I'll show you the steps of what you can do or what I do. And you can decide what you want to do. And as I've always made available, you know, I haven't checked my email closely. Perhaps there's people in there, but there are spreadsheets out there that are around that can help you with that, help you plan out your situation and get the most out of the gig economy and the gig apps. I have a whole suite of them, and I use them. I use them every day. I use them to plan my stuff. I look now at my monthly amount I need to make. It's a monthly goal. And I never leave it to chance. And I go out and I assess how I did against it. And I'm prepared when I'm not going to meet it. And, you know, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it. And then the next month, I figure out, what do I need to do differently? Is there something I can address within the month? Can I work an extra day? Can I stay out a little bit longer? And do I have the ability to do that? You know, am I choosing to work 4 hours today because that's all I really have to work? Or do I really have 8 and I want to do 4 and I want to do something else with that time? And if I'm running short on the first 4, can I give me 5? Can I give 6? Those are the questions you got to be having. That's the internal conversation you got to have with yourself at all times. And those of you that don't like that, guess what? You're probably not succeeding. And if you don't like it, to hell with you. I don't care. I mean, you know, I'm telling you, this is the real world. This is financial shit, man. This is fucking high school bullshit where you're like, oh, it's popular. It isn't popular. Financial responsibility isn't popular, right? But what I'm telling you is that you got to be willing to be accountable for yourself, and that's the fucking problem that we have out here right now. Excuse my French, as I like to say, but that's the problem we have. You know, that's the problem we have out here. We want to blame everyone else. Like everybody wants to say, right? Why does a driver want to accept every order? Because then they can blame the app and say, well, the app isn't giving it to me. And some would say, well, the driver doesn't have any control. You have control over what you accept. You absolutely do. And you have control whether you're going to do this. And you have control over knowing whether or not these apps are meeting your financial goals. And it is your responsibility to make an adjustment. And any idiot out there that wants to challenge me on that, go ahead, challenge me in the comments. Because it's really stupid to sit here and suggest that you should be continuing to do something that isn't meeting your financial goals and that is hurting you financially, and you're not making adjustments and changing it, because it's not the only thing you can do. It doesn't meet your goals. If you're not in a position to be aware that it's not working for you, and here we go, 2 items, 2.9 miles. Well, you know, it's $11. It's 2 items. You know, I don't like it. But anyways, I'm gonna get my shit together here before I pull it off. And I'll be back, guys. All right, guys, so we're back and back at it, and we have our money to hit our goal today. So we're hitting our goal. I'm told it'll be, according to my GPS, it's going to be probably around 6:55. So it'll come in just about 3 hours and maybe 40 minutes into our day. We will have gone over $100, which was our goal at the start of today. I talked to my son, got all that worked out. He doesn't need to be picked up till about 7:30 now. I guess they're having so much fun that he asked for an extension, and I said, well, yeah, sure. And now, on to the fun that we're having right now, because we're having some fun again, some stacked up fun, and DoorDash is putting that pressure on. This is what I noticed they do. The more you try to push the buttons, DoorDash's algorithm responds. And what they've done here is, all right, so now we got an offer from Grubhub for $16.79 for 9.4 miles. Where is it going? Let's see. I want to see where it's going. Weinbrenner's Crossing. Oh my, it's heading right out to where we're going to be going. But here's the problem. I'd love to do that, but DoorDash is putting the screws to me because they got me on. They're trying to give me contract violations, what they're going to try to do here. Anyways, so we're not going to be able to do that. I'm just going to turn it down, driving a different direction. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Anyways, so essentially what's happening right now is I'm on a DoorDash and a Grubhub order. Grubhub sent me an absolutely phenomenal order, $16.79 for 2 miles. Phenomenal order. And that's just, like I said, Grubhub does that. And it's just so refreshing to know you're not worrying about a plus sign. It's not like this DoorDash would have done a 6 or a 7 with a plus, or they would have just offered it at 7 for 2.4 miles. And then you got surprised when you got here and it would have been like $16. Grubhub will pay me $2 base pay, and then I'll have $14 tip probably, or somewhere similar to that. But as I'm pulling up, I get a $10 5-mile offer from DoorDash. Now, the downside of this is this is not going in the general direction. I accepted the DoorDash order because I figured that worst case scenario is I would just go ahead and take a courtesy wait because it's Panda Express. I really don't like Panda Express. I thought, well, I'll go in and see if it's ready. If it's not ready, probably should have analyzed the addresses more, but I didn't until after Panda Express was ready, and I went ahead and accepted the pickup. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm literally going in 2 different directions. Unfortunately, I went ahead and marked the Panda Express picked up right away. I should have left that not picked up right away, because if it would have been at least 10-minute wait, then there is no chance for contract violation. Well, I ruined that because I wasn't there for 10 minutes at the drop off or pickup or whatever you want to call it. Anyways, while I'm walking into Blaze Pizza, after I'd already accepted the DoorDash add-on, I got a $12 2 drop-off add-on for Grubhub. Now, Grubhub, what they will do, they'll give you these big orders, and it's a really good tell that they're gonna ask you to drive some miles. So normally what they're doing is they've got some ideas, some orders that are there getting ready to go, and they're basically, greasing the skids, so to speak, to say, okay, well, we're going to ask you to go deliver this, another order. There's going to be some orders to come behind. Now, you can, of course, accept or decline, but it's a good indication they got some sort of a earning scheme that they're trying to thrust upon you, and say, okay, here you go. All right, here it is right here. Yes, this is it. All right. This is 14 minutes. So we're looking at 6:53 right now, arrival. So that's not bad. All right, let's give it a correct app. So, all right. Right back, guys. All right, guys. So we made that drop off for the Grubhub order. So now the race is real to get over to the DoorDash order, because the contractual obligation that I have is to get this order there by 6:50. It looks like we're going to get there at 6:55. So we're going to be running 5 minutes late, which is within the amount of time we're allowed to run late. So again, everything is working, but DoorDash is doing its best to try to continue to push back these times. Whereas what I notice is when there's no real indication that you're trying to do any multi-apping or craziness like that, DoorDash will give you plenty of time. They'll give you 35 minutes. But if you start to encroach upon that time, they will start to tighten it up, because I think what the algorithm starts to detect is, oh, you're multi-apping, you're working other apps, and of course, there's also it's not even a conspiracy theory. It's truth. They watch your phone, and you give them permission to watch your phone, and they know what is on your screen. Again, remember, on Android at least, for certain, you give them permission to run their app over top of your other apps, which means that they get to detect what you're actually doing, what you're working, when you're triggering the Maps app, and the fact that you're going. And of course, this is a computer algorithm that basically says, okay, you're definitely working another app, because it sees certain things that you're doing, certain ways you're working, certain indicators that will tell the system, oh, this guy's doing multiple apps. And then it's going to, I believe, kick into a certain, it'll start running certain tests on you. And that's how this works. Remember, an algorithm in a computer doesn't actually, it's called artificial intelligence, because It's not a thinker. It doesn't have freedom of thought. What it does do, though, is it may think you're doing something and then it's going to have to test. Because it can't actually see like we see. It has to test. And it tests mathematical calculations. So it says, okay, we will conclude this person is doing X if they check off 3 out of 4 boxes. So let's go see if they do it. All right, this time they did. Well, just because it happened one time, how many other possibilities are there? So it's doing mathematical calculations until it completely eliminates the possibility that it's anything else, and that there is a certainty, a mathematical certainty that it could say you're doing this. And that's the process that you will see play out. Now, the human beings will interpret this as humans do, and they may see it, they may not. That's the problem. So you have to think like a computer when you're addressing things in the way this thing is going to address you. And I see it in a lot of what happens in a lot of my experience as it literally tests things out. I'll notice the times. Now, in order for you to detect these things, you have to keep track of the numbers. And why is it important to be a numbers person when you're dealing with a computer algorithm? Because the algorithm is only calculating numbers. That is it. It doesn't calculate anything else. It's incapable of human emotion. It doesn't calculate emotions. It just does mathematical calculations. And it says, okay, this mathematical calculation is X. Oh, wow, look at this. $37. Henshaw wrote in, well, this is like perfect. Oh, man. My God, do I wish I could take this order right now for certain. I can't for certain. That is a tragedy. I'm not going to decline it, though, because I don't want to release it to the wild yet. I don't want to release it to the wild yet. That's the thing. And you know, I'm starting to get a little nervous. But I think this is a new development, and I'm hoping that we're going to the right place here because it's got several weird routes that it's taking me on. One in which is to get on the interstate here, which we're gonna do. But this is one of those orders where, you know what? We ran out of hope, man. We ran out of time. And here we go. All right, 11 minutes, 8.1 miles, 6:59 is now the time. So we are now going to be running. What the hell, man? Why did it reroute me this direction? I don't understand this at all. It told me to go this route, and then it adds 4 minutes to it. This is why DoorDash, I literally think DoorDash is trying to get me a contract violation. Like, that's what they're trying to do. That is their goal right now. Like, that is just wild, man. Wild. All right, so this is a $30 off. 14 miles going to Bunker Hill. 17 items. It's a shop, though, so I can't take it. I can't do anything with any of these offers until I get this order taken care of. What in the world, guys? Like, if I was live, I'm sure I'd be getting feedback, but this is nuts. Why did it send me this route? Why would it do that, man? It told me to go this route. It said go on the interstate. But yet it adds 4 minutes to it. And it didn't detect. Oh, my God. And this customer's probably wondering, what the fuck am I doing? Like, seriously, dude. This is crazy. All right, well, at least I lost a minute. But it literally went from being like, I don't even know, man. Like, I'm so confused. And I don't know how much of this will make it on the actual vlog or not. But let me tell you, this is confusing and ridiculous. And, wow, man. That's all I can say. Is I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not get it. again, I'm playing with a computer now. And, you know, I can't imagine Google Maps would have said go this route, because Google Maps wants to take you the way that's going to create the least amount. I mean, and I was going like 80. I didn't even realize it because I'm staring at this thing trying to figure out what's going on. I'm breaking and violating all my rules. This is also why I hate these stacks, man. I have to pay closer attention. I have to not. I mean, listen, obviously the instinct is go with the money, and the apps create the urgency by these artificial, stupid timelines that don't actually exist, but they just exist because they're going to give you the contract violation. And will I get one? I don't know. Hopefully I don't. But I feel like the app is manufacturing the circumstances that when I get to the house, you know, I'm going to have like 2 minutes to complete the drop off, you know. It's not arrive, although it might be arrival. I don't know. But it's like, this is ridiculous. This is craziness, man. Like that it did that to me, because it actually routed me. It told me to go up the interstate, and I was second guessing it, but it was telling me that I was going to get there sooner. So I thought, well, yeah, if this is the quickest route to go, then why would I change it? Why would I audible it? And then as soon as it didn't actually switch up. Oh, good. So good news here, guys. There's the $37 order on Spark that's ready right now, still in there. That's going to go. It's actually going to be better off than what I was going to have before. It might be the same one. Is it the same one? Could it be? No, it's actually a clump. But it's right in the same area. That would be a fantastic way to end the day, because when I get done with this multi-app stack, I'm going to be sitting at, I don't know, I think $106. And that would put me at $143 for the day. And it would be about probably 7:45, 8 o'clock when I'd be done. Probably about 7:30, really. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit delayed in getting to where I need to be for my son, but I'll call him and tell him, hey, I'm coming at like 7:45 if I'm able to pick that order up. But I don't want to pick that order up now, because I need to do it when I can be heading to the store, because I can tell you they're going to be a little bit grouchy with me when I'm, 20 minutes from the store, which I will be about 15, 20 minutes from the store when I pick it up. But perhaps the app won't care. Oh, they disappeared, so we're going to reject that one. Sometimes there's ones underneath. It's weird how they do it. So I don't know. We'll see if it comes back. If it comes back, it's a lot of miles. So unless somebody's heading in that direction, well, some people might say, I'll head in that direction. They're probably looking at it like I would be. And I got to extend my time. I'm going to go to 11. Oh, there it is. It's back. There it is. 37.87. And I will do that all day long. That makes huge financial sense for me. And I'll do that, and it'll be a good day. It'll be a good Sunday. Back out on the multi, but here's the thing. I didn't do it clean. It's not comfortable. It's not great. It's not relaxing in any way, shape, or form. So this is not for the faint of heart when you're doing it the way I'm doing it. And part of it's because you're just sitting on eggshells waiting. Am I going to get a contract violation? Am I going to make it? Am I going to be able to pull this off? And 9 out of 10 times, as I can tell you, went back in the day before I became a top dasher. I had contract violations. I had sometimes my ratings would hover in the 4.91, 4.92, 4.89. Although I ran into some problems myself when I started doing the earn by time. That was problematic for me. But now I'm back doing what I'm doing it the way I think it should be done. And it's working. It's been working for me. The last couple of times I've come out have been okay, have been great, actually. I've just been able to produce money, back in the day, back the way it should work. And it's like, I know how it should work. I've known how it should work. I've known that this is the way it should be. It's like, but it doesn't always go that route. It doesn't always go the way you want it to go, every day, because sometimes the orders aren't there. And look, when it's busy, this works. When it's slow, it's not going to work that well. But you're also not going to make that much money because it's not busy enough that in any mode of earnings, DoorDash is, because remember, we are tip earners. So you've got to get the good tippers out. And unless you're willing to sort through the bad tips, you know, when they come to your screen, if you accept an offer and go spend time on a $5 order and it takes you 40 minutes of an hour, you cannot go back and get back the 40 minutes that you just spent on that order. And you're not going to be able to make it up. And if you're going to depend on a computer algorithm to make it up for you, you will be disappointed 9 out of 10 times. I guarantee you. And I understand there will be people out there that will say, no. Well, I will tell you that I don't believe them. Flat out don't. I don't believe that in the long run, if they mapped it out and kept track and came to me. Now, most of them are not going to be able to meet what I would ask them to come have a conversation with me about. I want you to come with your documents. I want you to come with your tracking. I don't want you to come with feelings. I don't want you to come with, I remember this, I remember that. I don't want you to come with a bucket full of screenshots that you claim all happened here and there and everywhere, right? I want you to come with facts, hard facts, data, and I want you to come to me and say, show it to me. Otherwise, shut up, because there's no way in the world that you're actually producing that. I haven't seen it. When I was taking every single offer, it wasn't happening like that. It's not going to happen like that. There's just no possible way. Okay, so here is where we're going. I am very familiar with this neighborhood. And I do not understand why it took me that way it did. And I can assure you that customer has to be going, what in the wrong with this DoorDash driver? But it is what it is. What it is, what it is. And they want it handed to them. So anyways, I'll leave you guys here, guys. I'll be back in a little bit to tell you how this drop-off goes. All right, guys, so it's going off the rails. This final order has just gone completely off the rails. I'm glad I didn't accept any Spark orders or anything like that. Also, because I'm here and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. And that's supposed to be the customer's house down there. There's no house down there. I'm looking it up on Google Maps. It's telling me that there is an address, but it's all the way across town. And I'm not going to go over there because I'm not going to be able to deliver when I get over there because this is where it's marked at. So I'm sitting here and I'm trying to get on the phone with DoorDash. There's no option to call. It's telling me that there's a DoorDash agent. I guess this is another thing that, like, when you're a priority or a platinum level dasher, you get phone support and everything else. So I don't even have phone support anymore, I guess. Which is crazy to me, because to me, it's like I'm in the middle of a damn order. I need to get on the phone with DoorDash. I mean, it is what it is. Now, it's frustrating because, well, the good news here is I'm at my goal after this. Wow, what a disaster, guys. Complete colossal fucking disaster on the DoorDash order. And at least I would feel vindicated because at the end of the order, exactly what I told DoorDash support was going to happen happened. But anyways, they took me to the wrong area. I suspected this was happening. It did. I had to go 5 miles across town. I didn't get extra compensation or anything. DoorDash agents are jerks, man. And apparently, like, I was blocked out from calling in. I had to chat in. I got a chat agent that was trying to cancel the order, and I'm like, I got their food. Don't cancel it. These chat agents, I don't know if they're AI bots that just turn into, like, the spawn of the devil, because they are just so terrible, right? Anyways, it's all rectified now. The customer called me. I was able to reach the customer, and was able to get this all somewhat rectified. But man, what just a terrible, like, experience from myself. I mean, just for everyone involved. I guess I gotta fill in all the stuff. Hold on a second. So, got Uber coming at me right now. Nah, we're definitely not doing that shit. Like I said, I'm at my goal. Thank God. That's all I can say about that is thank God I'm at my goal. But all right, so they're 26, and then I gotta figure out what time did I get that grub on. And you know, the sad part is if I would have not done the DoorDash order, we'd never have had any of these problems. I mean, and this ended up being a major fucking problem. Like, it really did. And it was really fucking, the customer was really nice though. But regardless, I mean, this was supposed to be done by like 7 o'clock. Here we go. All right, so Grubhub sending me something. 1269 China King Restaurant. Where is it going? It's going, no, we're not going there. We're not doing that, Grubhub. I'm sorry. No, sir. I'm not going there all the way up there. Just too low. Offer too low for distance. We're going to decline it. I'm up on a road here, man. I'm just so pissed off right now because, like, I'm so happy I didn't take any of those Spark orders that we were talking about. And I was looking and I was like, oh man, you know, let me grab those up. I just had a feeling, I had a feeling that this was not going to be going on. And really, when I look back at it, and I'm like, you know what? I absolutely should have taken the courtesy weight and gotten rid of this fucking order. And then I could have done that $16 deal. And man, oh man, would it have been a much better situation. Because I don't even know what, I'm going to assume it was $2 base pay on it. I don't even know. My Grubhub, yeah, it was $2. We're going to go $4, and then we're going to go $14.49. So it was like, I mean, $14.49 plus what was, I think it was $10.18 or something. I don't fucking know. Yeah, so we're going to go $8.18. I mean, it's just insane, man. Like $22.67 in tips. I mean, it was a good order, right? It was a good order in terms of like payout and when you put the two together. But holy shit, man. All right, now we got Wise Market. Once we get 6.8 miles, go to Hedgesville, pick up 2 items, shop and deliver for Uber. I don't have my shit with me. I don't have my Uber card with me. I can't do shopping and deliver here. Sorry. Not going to happen. I didn't bring my, I did not bring my cards with me. They're in my bag. I did not think to bring that. I got to remember to bring that out or put them back in my car. Because on occasion I will come out without my bags or without my book bag that normally I bring with me if it's like a full work day. Today it was like, oh, we're going out. So I'm at $106.56. I hit my $100 goal in 4 hours, a little over 4 hours, mainly because I should have been done with this order. Dude, I should have been done with this order like so long ago. I mean, it's so frustrating. I drove extra miles. I didn't get compensated for any of those extra miles. It is what it is, though, man. It is what it is. It's like, not happy right now with how this ended. It was such a good day. But that's normally how it goes. There's always like that order that just like, and it's normally DoorDash. DoorDash is the culprit that breaks you in and gives, you're on a great day, you're on a great run, and then DoorDash just throws some fucking bullshit at you. Like, some real fucking bullshit at you. And that's what they do. And I'm sorry. I'm probably going to cut out some of this unless I want to leave it in for authenticity and just the raw emotion of it. Anyways, it is what it is. All right. I'm going to jump off here. I don't know if I'm doing another order or not. I'll see what comes my way. I'm going to go call my wife. All right, guys. Go do it. All right. What is up, guys? I'm back. I'm a little bit more under control here. I'm leaving Walmart. I did some personal shopping. Oh, why this shot up. I did some personal shopping as well as, and I do apologize, it's going to be a little bit harder to see me, but we'll be relying on street lights and whatnot. And then probably once I get on the road, I think I'm going to just push you guys forward. But I don't know how well this is going to work because there's going to be my little platform that I have that's holding my camera is going to be probably blocking the microphone. So hopefully it'll all turn out the way I want it to. If not, maybe y'all won't see this part. But anyways, point of the matter is this. It was unfortunate what happened. Very, very upset, but it is what it is. But I ended up I had to do some personal shopping at Walmart. My son was trying to push for more and more time. I reminded him he had football practice in the morning. So, anyways, I've got to go get him, as I said, between 9:30 and 10. But I went ahead and did a $17 shop. We're heading down to deliver that right now. And I was able to pick up the personal items I needed to pick up. And then we're going to go from there. So, it is what it is. As far as that DoorDash order. DoorDash sent me a few orders. It's funny, man. I've seen better DoorDash orders than I've ever seen when I was on Platinum. I mean, and I'm saying that honestly. Now, I'm seeing bad orders, but I'm just declining. And then all of a sudden, like, for instance, I accepted this $17 6-mile order for Spark. It was only like 8 items, but it made sense because I was able to shop those items right next to mine. And then, lo and behold, I pull in the parking lot, and I get a 10.55-mile offer from a customer that I know had been a pretty decent tipper that I delivered to them before. And I'm like, wow, whoa. And that comes after I declined 3 really bad orders, and then I got a couple of more orders that I had to decline from DoorDash. I think I might even be on pause right now for DoorDash. Let me see. I am. In fact, I need to unpause. All right. So long story short is you got to decline. You can't take, this whole idea that you can go and get a high acceptance rate and that solves all. It's really fool's gold. It's really foolish. It's just stupid. It really is. I mean, look, the app is going to do what it is. And these apps will be what they are. Oh, here it is. Jersey Mike's is sending me something. One other store. See if it pops through finally. I got a text. It should come through my phone here in just a minute. Maybe it won't. Maybe that was what sent me earlier. Oh, there it is. $11, 11.5 miles. So that's going to get turned down. Now, the funny thing is, when you get on the other side of the spectrum, it's like if I accept an order, I start going up. But when I turn down an order, I'm trying to I was thinking, I'm going to hit 0. Well, no, then I got to remember, I got to turn down like another 100 offers. From whenever I accept an offer, it'll be another 100 offers before you get down and see a 0. So chances are you're not going to ever see the extreme of a 0 or the extreme of 100, unless, like I said, I just sat here and just said, I'm not doing any DoorDash orders today. It will probably be quicker. There it is, 925, 10.9 miles. So there it is. But again, I'm declining that like I would. I mean, if I was on Uber right now, I would decline that. And I would decline that on Grubhub. And I would decline that on most other apps. For whatever reason, DoorDash, I've always given a special deference to. I've always tried to work with their algorithm. There it is, 6 for 9. I mean, we're getting orders left and right now. They're not great orders, but we're getting orders left and right. And I would always try to say, well, I want to stay active on their app. I don't want to leave it on. I want to protect my ratings. Yeah, I think you should protect your completion rate. I think you should protect your customer rating the best you can. Although there are certain circumstances that, you know what, there's just nothing you can do. And there we go. But again, right here, it is much easier to hit your acceptance rate lower. But here's the thing. DoorDash gives the mirage that it matters. So they create the stress of hitting that decline button when it really shouldn't be stressful at all. It should just make sense to hit it. When you're getting a 6 for 9, unless I'm heading in that direction, and perhaps in a little while, if they hit me up with one at the right moment and circumstance to hit that accept button, is that this. I'm heading in a certain direction. Here it is, 2 orders, $6, 4.9 miles. We're declining that. We're stuck at 8% right now. But if I hit that accept, if I'm I know I'm going to be driving in that direction, and I'm looking at the order, and I go, okay, it cash flows enough. $3, 11 miles is not going to be enough cash flow. I might as well just not even do it. It's not worth the extra time, inconvenience, and hassle. But say I got a $12 $12 mile, or say $12 10 mile, or say $12 13 mile, and I'm heading 14 of those miles down the road. And I don't have time to sit around and bid, and play with DoorDash and decline and try to, negotiate with DoorDash. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm negotiating with DoorDash, and DoorDash is negotiating with me. And we're going to try different tactics. One tactic they can do is they can say, okay, we're sending you 10 orders. You decline all 10 of them. All right, I'm sitting. There's no more orders available for it. Now, this one is Red Lantern, $6 for 1.4 miles. So this one we're going to probably hit accept on, because why not? 2 items. What time do I need to pick that up? 8:31. So they gave me all of 4 minutes. And the good news is I'm 4 minutes from the customer, and then I'm probably about another 5 minutes from going backwards to Red Lantern. We'll see if that blows up in my face if I have to end up using. The good news is I got a point back on my completion rate recently. I'm at 98%. So if worst comes to worst, to avoid a contract violation, I will absolutely cancel the order if I have to. I'm back to my old methods, man. I'm back to using my ratings for myself, not trying to massage an algorithm. But, my curiosity got the better of me. Certain creators convinced me that I needed to do it, and I didn't realize I wasn't, and I was like, oh, well, they're getting results. And then it became clear why they were getting results. And listen, I tested the glitch as well, and it really didn't do much. In fact, in my opinion, it slowed you down. Now, you could use it a little bit, in terms of, you could maybe get better orders, but you really weren't, because, as soon as you went out, it's like you're decline. Then you hit a certain point, then you got to wait. And I guess in theory, it could possibly give you better ones, but I really still stand by the idea that ultimately it was all designed to get you to think acceptance rate matters. Whether it was thinking it mattered because, again, you have a content creator showing you they're 70% falsely. But I think also, too, is it ended up screwing up. Like, I still firmly believe that the algorithm learns what you're willing to accept, what you're willing to decline, and it's a bidding process. So the algorithm wants to convince you to hit the acceptance button. And the way they're going to do that is they are going to figure out what is the amount of money they need to offer you in order to get you to accept. When DoorDash rolls the glitch out, they're basically getting the algorithm to be trained under the idea that you're accepting every order, which is what they would love, right? And then that's why all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of shitty orders, and then you have one good order, but your average goes down. Before I ever tried any of all that stuff, tested any of that out, I have my algorithm, I had my relationship with the app such that I would see $10 an order, $2.50 to $2.50 a mile quite frequently. Sometimes I'd have to wait for it a little bit. But the orders that would come, the bad orders even, were like, I could still go out and they were pretty good. Now, the moment I started to try to take the lower orders, it senses that, right? And it says, okay, fine, we're going to start sending you these lower orders. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you're going to be able to survive working only DoorDash doing that, because I never did that. I never survived only on DoorDash. I had to have Grubhub, Uber Eats, Instacart, Shipt. And I had to lean heavily into those apps on some days to fill the gaps so that I could say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be sitting here taking garbage all the time. All right, here we go. Hold on, guys. I'll be back. I got to go deliver. All right. All right. Well, guys, so hopefully, like I said, all this can be heard and seen and listened to. Anyways, we're running a real tight one on this one. I should have not hit accept. I should have just declined. I saw $6. I underestimated it. You can't trust DoorDash. I think I need to look at what, I think it comes through. Let me double check what I'm about to say. I'm pretty certain it comes through on the offer screen. And I need to start looking at that, because if it's ultra aggressive like that, where, yeah, here it is. Oh, deliver by 8:36. Oh, it's already late. So that's an order that's already late. Wow, okay. So they sent me an already late order. That's bizarre, dude. That's crazy. So it had an expected delivery time right now of 8:36. I think I need to get out of this order for certain, because guess what? It says pick up by 8:31. It's 8:36. And I believe I'm still 5 minutes away, if I'm not mistaken. 3 minutes away. I don't know. I don't think I need the aggravation of this. I mean, it's a shame. I don't know. Maybe. Well, you know what? Let's just see, because I know where it's going. It's going to a housing development that is extremely close to the restaurant. So it would have expected me, I guess, to turn around and come back. But it told me 8:31. It's now 8:37. We're now 6 minutes. We're 1 minute past the delivery time. And I'm all right on that, because I know, like, if I get there, it's fine. They're going to readjust the end time. But, you know, and I can be to the customer literally in a minute from when I pick it up. And if there's a wait at this restaurant, I can manufacture a wait if I needed to. I mean, in all seriousness. But here I am. I'm hitting a light. But I've got to be at the store and in position to click arrived. And you can't do it at 10 minutes. You got to do it at, you know, a minute or two to give. Because let me tell you, I can tell you right now, they have been, in my opinion, we're at 7 minutes. So I've got to zip down here. I believe slowly, as I've watched the times, the delivery times and the pickup times, they're slowly tightening that noose around my neck to try to get me a contract violation. That is their goal. And right now I'm at 7 minutes. I'll be at 8 minutes. I'll clear the bridge. Question is whether or not I'll be able to get close enough to the restaurant to avoid the contract violation. And of course, like I said, it's very out of characteristic for me to be doing all this stuff right now, because normally here I am. I'm hitting the light. Oh boy. Am I going to be able to do it? I don't know. All right. It's now 8:38. 8:31 is the time of pickup. So, The other option is, all right, so now it's 8:39. We're now at 8 minutes. It's amazing how fast time can go. And the restaurant, guys, it's right over to your left. I don't know what direction that camera's showing, because I'm using my Z Flip, and it kind of sometimes does like a weird mirroring thing. But here I am. I'm behind the truck. Of course, they're going to lollygag, and we're now at 8:39. And it's giving me the option to hit arrived. I just hit arrived. Question is, will they recognize that arrival? And like I said, one day I remember I arrived at Chick-fil-A. I was sitting at the light, and let me hit arrived, and then it still gave me a contract violation, because I wasn't out of my car or whatever. I don't know why. I wasn't late, but I think I'm early enough right now. And when I did it that time, I think I was at like 9 minutes or something, and I don't know. I think it detects it's detecting your car's movement. So now I'm going to be parking. It's 8:40. So I'm 9 minutes late. 9 minutes late. All right, guys. So we, luckily that order was ready to go. No sign of a contract violation. So we avoided any issues. I believe we were within our allotted time. Again, like I said, when you're doing gig work to maximize your earnings and maximize your time, you're going to be constantly, you're either going to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. You're either going to be constantly concerned because you're working one app and the app's delaying you and parking you in a parking lot, and you're sweating it out, and you're worried about your earnings, and you're worried about, are you making enough, and you're worried about when the next order is going to come in. Or you're not going to be parked, and you're going to be making a good amount of money, but you're going to be constantly on that management wheel of managing your time and the conflict between apps. And this is why when I got my Z Fold a long time ago, I loved it, because as I did earlier today, You can put the two apps right up next to each other. Now, I kind of strayed away from that because I said, well, I don't want to do that anymore. And then at one point it was like, well, what am I doing with these for? Well, and then eventually I find my way back to where I'm at because guess what? It's no longer making sense for me to be working the way I was working. You know, as I'm kind of looking back through and deciding, well, you know, how am I going to work and looking at the numbers and letting that over time, letting that long-term picture develop. And I say, you know what? It isn't worth it. It is not worth it to work in a specific way. Now, the question is, of course, one of the reasons why I kind of shot a little bit away from stacking apps together and stuff like that is because, well, anytime you're working a long-term situation, right? If you go out and you speed at 90 miles an hour, you know, the first 100 times you do it, you might not get pulled over. But one of those times you're going to get pulled over, when you do, it's a whammy, right? Because it's going to make up for all the times you got away with it. And that's kind of what you're worried about when you're doing stacking apps and suddenly maybe you make a mistake, get delivered to the wrong place. Like the one time back in the day when I used to do this up in Charlestown, my son was with me and he laughed about it. I literally delivered to the wrong house. Luckily, the customer called me. I had to go back, get it. In fact, it happened when we were doing Earn by Time at a lunchtime, but that really had nothing to do with, that was okay because we legitimately were doing a double order that was given to me by DoorDash. All right, guys, be right back. All right, guys. So that last order, I'm in my driveway now. I decided to wait due to the amount of, the lack of being able to see. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to wait and wrap this up because my son contacted me and I'm not going to have to go up and get him after all. So there's not going to be any more orders, trying to get orders, because I'm not going to have to be traveling. I was obviously going to try to get orders on my way to go get him. That's not going to happen. So that was the last one. But interestingly enough, I called it right. I looked at it. I said, oh, that might be a plus. That would have been a plus. So that would have absolutely been one that under the old. I'm not seeing anything different than what I saw under Platinum. The only difference is obviously I had immediate access to support. I had access to appeal ratings. And right now I'm looking at, I'm getting order after order after order after order after order. And they are garbage, beyond garbage. There's actually a live promo. $1 is getting added to these orders. So that makes it all the more concerning. Because I didn't even know that now that I'm looking at some of these orders. So it's really busy right now. There it is. I'm like McDonald's, 850, 9.1 miles. My phone is just going off. And, hey, who would have thunk it, right? Because we were told your phone doesn't go off. You don't get orders. You don't get to see orders. But here's the thing. I saw that these orders would be no different if I was Platinum. And I know that because night after night, day after day, I went out as a Platinum driver and I did these orders. And I looked and then in the math basically says you're going to do like 3 or 4 of those, but you can't get back what you lost on an order. So your best bet is decline, and keep orders on and find them. And as we saw today, they're out there. You can move them together. And like I said, eventually DoorDash will send me something. But if I was sitting out here only working DoorDash right now, I'd get really frustrated because let's say I had 2 hours to work and I spend 20 minutes turning orders down. And then I finally find a decent one. And it's only, $10.50 for 3 miles. And it turns into $14. Well, I still made $14 an hour. DoorDash still wins that. But what I've got to be able to do is look and say, okay, I'm doing the same thing on Uber. I'm doing the same thing on Grubhub. And Grubhub sends it to me. And then DoorDash sends me that $10. And it turns out they're all going pretty much in the same proximity. And now I've got a $13 Uber, and now I've got a $10 DoorDash that turns into $13. Now I've made $26 in that hour. That's how you're going to have to do it. If you're not willing to do that, you're going to make $13 to $20 an hour doing DoorDash. And then, of course, there's Spark, where you're going to have, like I said, there was hot and heavy opportunities tonight where I had a $37 deal. There was an opportunity for me at DoorDash not totally screwed me on that one order that, I would have been possibly right up near where my son's party was at. And he might not be spending the night with his friends tonight because I'd already been up there and I'd said, hey, I'm coming to get you. Get ready. We're going. But I'd have been sitting at 150 and I'd have been home a lot earlier. Now, like I said, my final numbers tonight. Let's go over it. Let's go over where we're at because I gotta finish that last order. thing. So I'll be back. I'm going to go turn the camera off, and I'll be back with the final. All right, guys. So I'm back. And like I said, the night could have been should have been, had an opportunity to be much more lucrative than what it was. But it's not a bad night. The numbers I'm not unhappy with. We worked 5.48 hours in total from first order to last order. Obviously, the one order that went completely off the rails was the impact of that, because I have it down as a multi-ab stack. It was not as bad, but that should have been an outstanding order. I should have been back out there searching. Should have been having, it took away a lot of earning opportunity for me, because it only ended up being a $23 an hour order value, and that should have been well in the $30, $40, $50 an hour category. But total numbers, we made $130.91 tonight. We did 7 total offers. Now, we actually did more than that because we had a couple multi-ab stacks, so maybe 9, maybe 10. How you want to count that? That's how I count it. 7 orders in total. I put together 7 routes, 78 miles driven, and drove at $1.68 a mile net, and we drove at $3.54 a mile offered, for a total of 36.2 offered miles. Now remember, that order also involved a lot of extra miles, and it also involved DoorDash taking me on a completely unnecessary route to a place that I would have never had to go. And had they taken me to the correct place, and again, this is why for a long time I turned off in-app navigation. I'm turning it off again after today, because that could have been avoided. Now, I would have gotten to the customer. It would have taken a couple of minutes to get with support. And it would have been like, okay, here we are. But I would have been at the right place, because Google Maps would have taken me to the right place. DoorDash Maps took me to the wrong place. God help the next driver that gets that order. If it's me, I'll be ready. Anyways, so our total average order value, even with all that hiccups, even with all the problems, and again, with me going ahead and taking a lukewarm shopping my own shop. I mean, I got lots done on this. $23.87. That was overall order value. My active order value, which is the one that everybody lives by, your active time on DoorDash. My active time was $29.87 for the evening. Could have been a lot higher. Especially, again, you take out that hiccup, and I'm well over $30 an hour. But even with a hiccup, I'm at $29.87. So it was actually, in my opinion, it was pretty good. 47 minutes per order. And like I said, we were well over $100. We were over $100 before 4 hours. So it was just where it left us. And then I ended up driving. I knew I had to drive home, and I did a couple of bonus offers that maybe I would have done, maybe I wouldn't have done. I don't know, but this is why you don't really, my opinion is, you don't worry about your order value. You just don't worry about it. It's a metric that defines how long you're going to be out. It might dictate whether or not you're going to continue. But when somebody asks you what you make an hour, you should just tell them, I don't keep track of it. I don't worry about that. I'm a gig worker. I make good money. You tell them what you make a day. I make about $200 a day. Well, how long does it take you? It just depends. But I normally, because I don't work, we don't sit down and work 8 hours on a gig. Now, if you take a gig worth 8 hours, you should be taking a gig at $200 for 8 hours, or $300 for 8 hours, whatever it is that you decide you want to make. But we don't do that. We take it, hey, this is a 45-minute gig that's going to pay $26. Boom, we do that. So when somebody asks you hourly, it makes no sense for you even to answer that, because that's not how we work. You set out for a goal, whatever your goal is, whether your goal is to pay all your bills, because that's what you're relying on gig work to do that, or your goal is to go pay a bill, or to pay for a specific expense. You're going out, you're working, you're taking work opportunities until you pay that, and then you look back and you go, well, how many hours did it take me to do that? Well, do I want to do that again? Was this something that seemed like it made sense? And at the end of the day, how much taxes did I end up having to pay? How much expense did I have to expend out on gas, Did I get my oil changed a little bit earlier? And did that hurt me a little bit in the pocketbook? You look back at all these things. That's the look back. But the reality of the situation is we come out and we look and we say, here it is, 40 bucks, 20 bucks, $5, $6. That's why it makes no sense for a driver to go out and they say, hey, will you go pick up my McDonald's for $3? And you're like, fuck you, dude. No, I'm not doing that. Like when you think about what I got to do, I got to go stand in line. I got to go drive my car there. I got to go drive to your neighborhood. I got to worry about funding I got to pay for my cell phone bill so that I can do it. Makes no sense. So why the hell would you do it? I mean, we did it because we justified, because the apps figured out, hey, we need to figure out how to get drivers to do this. Stop doing it. Where do we come out? $130.91. So my taxes I'm paying today are $29.81. My car maintenance fund is getting $7.80 added to it. And my actual gas cost was $5.66 for a total take home of $87.63. Hey, you know what? I'm all right with that because my goal was to hit $100 gross. Now, really, you know, that's my goal every day. That's going to get me to what I need to make, $100 gross, and that's going to bring me home X. Now, what you really want to do is calibrate it. The best way to do it in a way, like I said, for me is to say, if I want to net $100, what would I need to work? How much more time would I need to work? And that would tell me I made $130 and ended up with $87 net revenue. So what was that? About $43. I had to pay on expenses through taxes and car maintenance and gas, right? So it tells me right in there, you know, what I need to do. I would need to earn probably about, I'd say about $150. And then I'm going to get about $140 really, probably about 144, 143. Or just round it up and say 150. So if I want to make sure I'm clearing $100 in my pocket every day, I'm going to need to go out and generate $150 gross. How long would that have taken me today? Well, I know because it would have taken me $23 an hour. And how much active time? Well, it was 30. So how many active hours would I need for that? You know, to do that at $30 an hour, I'm going to need, I guess, 5 active hours, right? Because that gets me to 150. And then right now, but out of that, for every active hour, I'm having to work an additional, you know, time. I'm only doing 80%. So I've got to add 20% to those active hours. So if I'm doing 5 active hours, 20% of 5 hours would be, you know, we got to take it really in minutes. But, you know, we're going to say I'd probably need to have, let's see here, 20% of 5 is 1. So I'd need to work 6 hours in order to hit $150. 6 full hours, but I'd only make $150. I wouldn't make, obviously, you know, that would get me to, you know, 5 working active hours. Now it can change, obviously, but that's the math. And I'm looking at that math right now as in, what do I need to do today if I want to go forward? And I can decide, do I go forward? Do I not? Do I want to? Am I where I need to be at? Is this cool? Is this money going to get me where I need to go? And if it is, if $87 in my pocket is going to get me where I need to go and I can throw that in, that's great. But really, like I said, I'm looking for about another $13 that I need to get. And you can do the math backwards from there. So there it is, guys. You know, that's my day, and I'm not unhappy with it. I'm not unhappy with it. You know, because what I'm emboldened by with that is that I feel like, right? I feel like if, you know, what occurred on that DoorDash order is not going to be something that's going to happen to me frequently. So I know I like where I'm at again. Let's put it that way. I would encourage you to put DoorDash where it belongs. Build your app folio. Hit that decline button when it makes sense. Hit that accept button when it makes sense. And and only do things that make financial sense. Don't listen to a geektuber. Don't listen to me. Go out and discover it for yourself. Watch what I'm doing. See if how I works for you. If there's tools I'm using that you can get a hold of, use them. But ultimately, figure it out. Anyways, guys, I'll leave you with that. Stay rational out there. And I'll talk to you soon.
Hustle all day long, ride the wave so strong, driving through the night, gotta keep it tight. Apps keep pinging loud, scrolling through the crowd, every road I find, leaving doubt behind. Getting rational about this gig life, finding balance in the daily strife. Getting rational about this gig life, finding balance in the daily strife.